much for your reporting. Meanwhile, as we talk about all these multi-million-dollar homes, there are some very important people on the fire lines who are finally getting to share their voice as well, in part thanks to a pretty big Twitch streamer, Hasan Piker. You might have already seen shots of inmates out there on the fire lines. Right now, there are like 900 to 1,000 of them. It's a program that's been around for a while here in California, but what is catching people's attention, well, part of it is the pay. It's like $10 a day. They can earn a little bit more when actively fighting fires, an additional $1 an hour during emergencies, and working in that program can also get them some time off their sentence and for some, record expungement. But joining us now is Twitch streamer and YouTuber Hasan Piker. He lives out here in LA. He headed out to where they've been staging to help shed some light on what they do to help the rest of us out here. Hasan, thanks so much for being with you. But before we get into this, I do want to play a clip of this interview for viewers. It was a fascinating interview. I think you talked to a man by the name of Williams. Let's take a quick look.
Right now they're on break, right? They're doing 24 hours off. But when you're back out there, you sleep out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? So they give you like what? Like they give you gear and then they give you like sleeping gear?
Pretty much what you got right here. And then you got your Nomax on, your Nomax shirt on.
That's it?
Yeah, that's all.
They don't give you any sleeping gear?
No, not on the mountain.
And Hasan, we've been with inmate crews. I've never seen them give such insight as they did with you. If you get a chance, anybody that's watching, they should check out your whole clip. What was your impression of what it's like for them and the work that they're doing right now?
I had an incredible opportunity to be able to talk to these guys directly, uninterrupted, in a very real setting when they were on their 24-hour break. Because of the wonderful work that Scott Budnick, he's a Hollywood producer, and he started the Anti-Recidivism Coalition, is doing, specifically with the incarcerated firefighters. And in that process, I found their experience to be very dignified from their own assessment. The fact that they were able to contribute back to their communities was something that they truly appreciated in terms of the opportunity, although the conditions are still obviously very grim. And one of the major things that they brought up was, of course, the wages, as you guys also pointed out to. Right now, I believe it's around $24 a day when they're actively fighting wildfires. And I think that is one area that desperately needs improvement. Another thing that I was also shocked by was the fact that in order to be able to volunteer for this program, you actually leave prison and go to a conservation camp to get training, and then you remain there when you're not actively out in the field fighting fires. And one thing that they mentioned were the comparably much more humane conditions at conservation camps. Some of the inmates reported that they had access to weight training facilities and like actual real weights. Apparently in California prisons, you don't have access to real weights any longer. And little things like that, I think, go a very long way in making inmates feel human again, and making inmates feel like real people rather than cogs in a machine. And I think that is tremendously helpful in rehabilitation and the rehabilitative process, and also helping them reintegrate back into society after they're done serving their time.
Want to back up again, right?
Yeah, one of the most fascinating parts of the interview, I thought, was when you started to ask them about what this was like compared to what it's like in lockup. If we have some of that, can we play a little quick clip there?
Is it better than being in prison or no?
It's way better, because I was in a prison yard. I'm seeing guys get stabbed, get jumped, get beat up. The cops treat us like but here, we get better treatment, right? They talk to us like humans. They talk to us like humans. We got a job. We're underpaid, but we got a job. Yeah. You feel me? And then the community comes out and shows us all kinds of love. We never received that growing up. We never received that kind of love, that kind of recognition for anything we've done. So now, doing this kind of stuff and all this love coming, that's life-changing.
Yeah, we never received that growing up. I mean, like, again, this interview is absolutely fascinating. Do you think it's working?
I think the incarcerated firefighter program is pretty successful in terms of finding a lot of the people that are slated for rehabilitation, and it seemingly has been very successful as far as what they have reported. Another thing that they kept repeating over and over again was the fact that inside of the camp structure, there's a lot more unity. There's no racial tension or animosity of the sort. There's no violence because they desperately do not want to go back to the regular prison structure, as Kimbo also pointed out right there, because there's a lot of violence in regular prison. And I think that it is not only an example of the success of the program itself, but I think it's also a criticism of the current carceral state in a state like California, where the prison structure needs desperate reform so that the entirety of the California prison system could look closer to the camp conditions that exist right now that that help, I think, tremendously in the rehabilitative process.
Yeah, it's so cool to see the sense of pride and giving back to the community. I mean, we all owe them a huge thanks, and thanks to you for helping shed light on what they're going through. I mean, we've been on the fire lines, and fire lines are hell. So kudos to all those guys that are out there doing the work. Hasan Piker, thanks so much for joining us, brother.
Thanks for having me.
Sure. We've got a lot.